Howdy! Hope you guys are having a great week so far. This morning, I interviewed a very special guest for the 3-Day Workweek podcast, my husband, Craig. And after our conversation, I realized that I haven't talked much about how to get your partner on board with your business, about you spending money in your business, about you making time for your business, about just having conversations about your vision for your business and for your life. I mean, you're in couple with them, right? Your life together. And so I wanted to take just a couple minutes to, hey, Christy. I just saw Christy in the Success Made Simple Academy group. Hello again. I wanted to take just a couple minutes to share some of my side, my take on this topic of getting your partner on board with your business, and then tune in tomorrow to the 3-Day Workweek podcast to hear our conversation as a husband and wife on navigating the entrepreneurial journey together and being a united front. Even though it's my business and I run it as such, he's a very important kind of counsel about certain decisions, and he really is, right? He sits with me on the board of directors and all of that stuff. So I really do value his opinion and his take on things. He's got a really solid entrepreneurial mind, even though he himself is not an entrepreneur. And so first and foremost, if you didn't know I had a podcast or you don't listen to my podcast, you can find that on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. It's the 3-Day Workweek podcast, same name as this group, 3-Day Workweek podcast. And every week I bring interviews and inspiring lessons that help you to build a profitable business in part-time hours. So if you're not listening to that, you can check that out. And you can also get podcast updates by signing up for my email list at kaylinasher.com, and you'll also get a copy of my 3-Day Workweek schedule. It's all about 3-Day Workweeks over here, which hopefully you like because you're a part of this group. So let me dig into this idea of getting your partner on board with your business. And I think a lot of times, this is uncharted territory for a lot of people. You maybe came together and you had a traditional job, or you were doing other work, working for someone else, and this business emerges. And because of that, it can feel a little awkward of like, hey, I know that I was doing this thing in this way before, and now I'm transitioning. And so what I would encourage you as the business owner, to get to a place where you can share your enthusiasm and your excitement and your ideas without seeking permission. I am all about being open and honest and communicative and letting them know about your decisions and letting them know where you need their support or where you'd like to have their support. But I don't think you need to ask permission to go after what you truly want to do for you. And it might mean having, some heart-to-heart conversations about, the balancing the household stuff, or, what needs to happen with the kids or the finances, and big conversations. But I don't think you need to ask permission to go after what you want. I think there's always a way to navigate this path and make it work, even if there's a little bit of challenge stepping into it. And that's one of the things I've always done in our relationship. And Craig and I have been together a really long time, since we were teenagers. We go into the whole backstory on the podcast. So if you're curious about our journey in love and life, you can listen to that tomorrow. But we've had the opportunity of really growing up together. Not everyone has that. But because of that, maybe in my youth and naivete, I just shared everything with him. I'm like, hey, I've got this idea for this business, and it's going to do this, and I want to serve these people in this way. And he saw my excitement. He saw how lit up I was, and about each and every iteration of my business along the way. And I think because of that, it wasn't just me arriving like, hey, I've been thinking about this business, but I haven't told you anything. And now I want to invest in this program that's thousands of dollars. Or now I need you to, pick up extra slack around the house because I need evening hours to work on this business or whatever. And they're sort of like hit out of the blue where you're dreaming and thinking and, this business is consuming you inside in your heart and your mind. You're thinking about it all the time. You have to let them in. You have to let them in, and so they can see how special this is for you, how important this is for you, so that they feel ready to support you in this endeavor. It's asking a lot of them to hit them out of the blue with this and then be upset or frustrated that they're not 1,000% supportive when you're like, hey, I want to spend X amount of dollars on this program with this person you've never heard of, and you're expecting them to just totally get it. That's asking a lot. We need to plant the seeds, we need to warm them up, we need to show them that we're taking our business seriously. So share your wins. Be like, hey, I just did my first Facebook Live today. I just did this free training and I got so many insights about how I can improve my marketing or improve my outreach. I just did this free challenge and I'm setting up a system to get clients. We're actually going to be running the Get Clients Challenge later this month, so keep an eye out for that. Let them know your wins, your progress, and then when they see you showing up for this business every single day, making time for it, thinking about it, dreaming about it, getting excited about it, and they're getting excited about it too, then a month or two or however long later when you're like, hey, I'm looking at this program, it's $2,000, but I really believe in this person who's running it. I really think it can take me from where I'm at here doing these things to these goals that I've set for myself. These are my goals, and these are the kind of results that they're getting their clients, and I really, really want to make this investment. I think it's going to give me an amazing ROI, and I would love your support in that. I'm feeling like this is the right next step for me, and I want your support in that. That's a very different conversation than them hearing nothing or next to nothing about your business, and then you hitting them with this $2,000 price tag and being like, what do you think? And they're going to be protective. Your partner loves you, and they want you to be safe and supported and making the right moves for you and in your life, and so that you're happy and all this stuff. So if they sense uncertainty, and perhaps your uncertainty isn't about the program, it's about having this conversation with them, but if they're reading uncertainty, they're going to be defensive. Well, who is this person running this program, and what's this program about, and how long is it, and do you what kind of results can you expect? And there's a lot of questions that arise when they haven't heard much about your business, and then you're hitting them with these ideas about these new programs and new things you want to be a part of. And so my best advice about getting your partner on board with your business is to let them in. Let them in from the very start, not just when you feel like you need to check with them about spending money or investing in something, but let them in from the get-go. Let them know that you're really excited about this, and that it's lighting you up in a way that work before hasn't done for you, and that you're really excited about its potential, and share those wins along the way, all the little things that you're doing, the trainings you're taking, the insights that you're gleaning from the work that you're doing, the cool podcast that you listen to that gave you a bunch of ideas and now you're ready to hit the ground running. Share all of that with them. And then when it comes time to have a bigger conversation about investing in yourself, investing in your business, financial things, I guarantee they will be more open and receptive. But again, go into that discussion asking for their support, letting them in on the decision. Don't ask permission, because when you go in meek and uncertain asking for permission, they're going to read that uncertainty as something they need to protect you from, and they're going to get defensive. They're going to ask a lot of questions, and you're probably going to shut down feeling like they're saying no to you, where in actuality they're just trying to protect you. So I'm going to leave that there. There's a lot more that Craig and I dig into on the podcast tomorrow. So again, if you want to listen to that special episode where I bring Craig, my husband, onto the podcast and we talk about business and life and all the things, and we answered actually some of the questions that you guys posted. One of them being how to get your partner to understand kind of this online coaching world, questions about establishing healthy boundaries to be able to make consistent time for your business where your partner isn't expecting you to like do the laundry and all those things when you have a couple hours to work on your business, kind of setting those healthy boundaries up. So if you want to check that out, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. It's the 3-Day Workweek podcast. Or you can sign up for my email list. If you do that right now, you'll get the email tomorrow about the podcast, and you can do that at KaylynAsher.com. And when you sign up over there, you'll also get a free copy of my 3-Day Workweek schedule. So if you haven't gotten that yet, I'd really recommend it. I find it really helpful to see a visual of exactly what what a schedule looks like. And so if the whole concept of 3-Day Workweek is like, yes, that's amazing, but how do I implement this? Make sure you get a copy of that 3-Day Workweek schedule. It's going to give you so many insights. We've actually had people just from that schedule, that free opt-in alone, making huge shifts in their business that result in them finding so much more time in their week and making more money. So I would recommend that you get yourself over there. So I hope you check out the podcast episode tomorrow. Craig and I had a really fun time doing it together. It was the first time I ever had Craig on the podcast. It was the first time I ever had a man on the podcast. And it was the first time I ever did the podcast interview in the same room as the other person, not via Zoom or Skype. And so it was interesting working that dynamic of like actually sitting physically next to someone, but we had a great time. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and I'll pop in again soon. Bye, guys.